with video or just on voice?
It's Google, and then it's going to be, we're live on TV right now at 7 o'clock.
Okay. I'll mute myself then. Thank you so much.
Okay. I'm also recording the meeting.
Okay. Well, we're still waiting for one person for a quorum. This is Michael Pica, Vice Chair of the Lake Quinsigamond Commission. At the moment, chairing the May meeting of 2021 of the Lake Quinsigamond Commission relative to Peter Collins, the chairman, being indisposed at the moment. He may be joining us in a few moments. Angela Snell is going to begin with the, I'll call it COVID preamble, and then we'll go about the agenda, as Angela will help you with that. I'm working from my phone. We'll do commissioners' reports and then go down the items on the agenda as they're so published.
Okay, as a preliminary matter, this is the Lake Quinsigamond Commission meeting. Please permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Michael Pica?
Yes, present.
Captain DeAndre?
Yes.
Ken Polito? Jonathan Nickerson?
Present.
Amanda Armory? Lisa Labossiere?
Present.
Bill Nelson? And Shrewsbury Police Representative?
Sergeant Vitals is here.
Okay, great. So we do have a quorum now. Good evening. This open meeting of the Lake Quinsigamond Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of COVID-19. This order allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along. For this meeting, the Lake Quinsigamond Commission is convening by Google Meet as posted on the town's website, identifying how you may join. Please be sure to press *6 to mute your device when you are not speaking. The meeting will not feature public comment. Please wait until we open up the items for comment and press *6 to unmute your device. And now I will turn it over to the agenda. I will be reading the agenda, and Mike Pica, who is our vice chair, will run the meeting. So the first order was call to order, which we did. Second, review and act on acceptance of minutes from the March and April meeting minutes, which were emailed out to everybody.
Would someone like to make a motion to accept the minutes for the March and April meeting?
I'll make the motion.
Yes, Captain Diaz will make a motion.
I heard Captain DeAndre make a motion. I believe I heard somebody else second it. So then,
I'll second it.
So then I think we should take a vote then in terms of all those in favor. Aye for one, say aye. Captain DeAndrea?
Aye.
Lisa?
Aye.
John? Nathan?
Aye.
And the Shrewsbury Police Sergeant Representative?
Aye.
And at this point in time, that's everybody that's here. So it's unanimous. The minutes from the March and April meeting for the Lake Quinsigamond Commission have been accepted. Next item on the agenda, Angela?
Sure. Review and approval of the bills and expenses, and I have that. Let me just give me a minute.
Yep.
Okay, so for our expenses for the month of May, we had a bill from ESS, $750 for a meeting, a public hearing with Newton, for Newton Pond. The invoice was from April 29th. We had a bill from Papa's Hardware for rope for the safety buoys on the lake. That was for $199. We had an invoice from Alpha Graphics for $679. This is for the Lake Quinsigamond rules brochure. And then we have one more bill from ESS for Newton Pond permitting for $750 to ESS.
I'd like to ask a question about the brochures. How many brochures were printed up, Angela? Do you have any idea?
Ooh, I believe it was, I don't know if Jessica can help me with that. Was it 1,000? I believe it was 1,000, or it might have even been more than that. I'm
All right.
sorry, I don't have that exact
Well,
number.
that's okay. Would anyone like to make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as described? Or any comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept it.
Do we have a second? Did I hear a second?
Second.
All right, so then we're going to take a vote in terms of accepting the expenses as so written. I am one vote in favor. Captain DeAndre,
Aye.
Lisa,
Aye.
Jonathan,
Aye.
and the sergeant from the Shrewsbury Police.
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous, so the expenses as read are accepted. Next item on the agenda, Angela.
The next item was the update of the lake management plan. This is really Peter's items. I can just give a quick update that we did put out the weed treatment out to bid for Lake Quinsigamond. We're in the process of reviewing the bids, so that should be decided pretty soon. Newton Pond permitting, I know that they just went before the Conservation Commission with ESS. I don't have the final results of that. Peter will have that. That's all I have on that. I don't know if anyone else has anything to add, or we can continue that until if Peter arrives, or we'll have to discuss it at the next meeting.
I did speak with Peter about another item, and that is, fortunately, Mike Liberty was willing to devote his time and boat to bring somebody over to the Half Moon Cove to do some work there in terms of, I believe, the mapping out the areas. We're going to do some weed treatment in terms of the Eurasian milfoil, which I believe is in concert with natural heritage. So that much I can share additionally. And otherwise, I think that's as much of a report as we have at this time, without having Peter Collins here to add more. Next item, I guess, on the agenda, Angela.
I'll just note that it did say discuss and vote on the funding for the bacteria monitoring, and we actually did that at the last meeting.
Okay.
So we take that off the agenda. The next was the 2021 safety plan update, scheduled boat patrols. I don't know if one of the police representatives could give an update on that.
Sure. Sergeant Vital here. Just an update. We added 2 new safety buoys for no wake placed at the North Quinsigamond boat ramp. Angela, I know, well, I'll first start by saying that we've had, well, this past weekend, we kicked off our first full weekend of staffing for the boat. So far, so good. We were able to staff 2 officers on the boat. We tried to make a presence down there right away. We had a part of our patrol shifts go down and check registrations at the ramp, kind of mitigating a lot of the issues that we were having last year initially. So far, so good. I've got a lot of really good feedback from people down there saying that it's already started off in a good direction. Angela, I know Lieutenant O'Connor's been working with you, and we're going to have those ramp details, I believe, starting this weekend, just from my understanding of it. So I think we have a good handle on the lake this year, and we're heading in the right direction. And that's all I have.
So Captain DeAndrea, do you have anything to add to that? DeAndre?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so the Worcester boats, I think it just has to get some additional marking, so it'll be out Memorial Day weekend. I know my lieutenant met up with, we had a conversation with Shrewsbury and Environmental for Memorial Day weekend, and I know they discussed coverage. So Friday Memorial Day weekend, Shrewsbury PD will be out on the lake. Saturday, WPD and Shrewsbury PD will be out there. Sunday, Environmental, Shrewsbury and Worcester PD will be out there. And Monday, Worcester PD, Shrewsbury PD, and Environmental will also be out there.
Okay.
Depending on what's going on at Indian Lake, with the coverage that's already there, we may move them one day over to there, but we'll make sure that that Lake Quinsigamond is staffed. And we also discussed about the cleansing of the boat and making sure that no marine species will be transferred from Lake Quinsigamond to Indian Lake if we end up moving the boat out. So they've already been instructed how to disinfect it and all that stuff prior to it going into different bodies of water within the city.
Okay. Good. I guess the next item on the agenda, Angela, we haven't done the commissioner's reports yet, but maybe we can
Yep.
hold off to a little later because possibly Peter will join us. Anyways, the next item on the agenda?
The next item is continued discussion of the Mass DEP Chapter 91 local permitting program. And that's something that Peter would have to lead the discussion on.
Yeah, I for one have no additional information on that.
This is Bill Nelson. Can I interrupt for a second?
Hi, Bill.
Hi, I've been trying to log on for the last 20 minutes, and it just won't allow me to log on. What's going on?
I don't know, but it's good to hear your voice. You're the fifth member of 6 member to join us.
And Peter Collins just logged in.
Okay.
How did he manage to log in? Because I've been trying the Google Meet the way I've always done it before, and it just won't allow me to log in. Same device I've always used, the same way I've always done it.
I can't answer
Yeah.
that for you, Bill. I'm sorry. Now, Peter Collins, Mr. Chairman, are you president at this point in time? Hello, Peter. I don't hear him at the moment. Maybe he's having a problem too, Bill.
Yeah, every time I try to log on by pressing on Jessica's instructions, I just get something from Google telling me to remove this from my device.
Well, I'm working on the phone. If you're trying to do it video, audio, maybe there's some problem with that.
Okay, sorry to bother you. I was hoping I could get
All right, but
see
you're
everything.
still going to be in attendance, at least audio-wise, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So Peter is here now.
Hello, Peter
The next
Collins.
item, the adaptive water ski event.
Is there somebody who is representing that event who is present this evening to give us a description of what that's all about?
I don't see them on the call, so I can give you an overview. The Webster Lake Water Ski Collaborative wants to hold an adaptive ski program for the day. It would be run out of the rowing center. So have a boat and a sit ski, so the people would actually sit down to do like water skiing, and they would help, the people that sign up for the program, and then they'd take them on a run around the lake to do sit ski. So they're looking to have permission to do this event. They'd probably have up to 50 people, but it would be like 1 or 2 boats on the water at a time. They would be taking turns, so there wouldn't be 50 people on the water.
This would be
So
out of the
they-
Donahue Center?
Yes,
Okay. What's the date that they would like to do that?
it's during the week. It's August 17th. They have permission from the Parks Commission to do it at the rowing center. And if they receive permission from the Lake Commission, they would also have to get permission from the environmental police, who will review.
So
all
the
the-
17th I have
issues.
down as a Tuesday.
Correct.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Vice
Does any
Chair.
member of the commission have any comments about this adaptive water skiing event that this group from Webster Lake would come to like to do on Lake Quinsigamond on Tuesday, August 17th of this year?
Mr.
Any
Vice,
comments?
I have a
Is that
comment.
Peter?
Yes.
Okay.
As Angela said, this program is basically, it's a program for folks with special needs, almost of all ages. And it's a very, very cool thing. You know, they have people in that are confined to wheelchair, or not confined to wheelchairs, but have wheelchairs. They have there's some blind people. They have assistance on it. So there's usually a people skiing with the other skiers at all times. There's a jet ski following them around for safety. They do have applications, and I believe to as Angela had spoken about, but they also have applications into the environmental police and the other folks that they want. They are seeking to shut the ramp in the lake down that day to do this. It's going to be in 2 rounds. So those 50 people will be spread out over two sessions. There's an AM session and a PM session. They're doing the same exact adaptive event on Webster Lake on June 25th as well. I attended this last year with my son Tucker. It was something to see. It really was. It was pretty cool, and the job that these guys do with the people that they have there is just incredible. So it was a very except for the docks, it was a very safe environment. Everyone had a good time. So that's a little bit.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, you want
Yes.
to take over in terms of then taking a roll call vote in terms of the commission as so portrayed, taking a vote in favor or not in terms of this
We have a
August
motion.
17th Tuesday event?
I will do that if you like, or you can continue with this if you want.
Sure. No, go ahead, Mr. Chair. You're here. You're here. Go ahead.
Okay, so do we have a motion to approve this? Or is there any other
I'd
discussion?
like to make a
besides me?
motion to. Okay, sure.
I don't hear any.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this handicap water skiing event as so portrayed for August 17th, with the understanding is that the Corzini ramp may be closed that day for this particular event.
Second the motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll go to roll call. Mr. Pica?
Aye, yes.
Who's here from Shrewsbury Law Enforcement today? Sorry.
Mr. Chair, Sergeant V.
Sergeant Vito?
Aye as well.
Okay, thank you. Captain DeAndrea?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. not here. Mr. Nickerson?
Yes.
Ms. Amory?
She's
Amanda
not
Hickler?
here.
Oh, okay.
No.
Sorry. All right. Ms. Labassiere?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, so voted. Um, and that's the last item. You guys moved through this really fast. That's good. So an update from the Lake Quinsigamond Watershed Association. Is there a rep here for those folks? I'm not hearing anyone. Okay, we'll move on to that, and I'm pretty sure that, well, I skipped Jacqueline, I'm sorry, but Jacqueline's not going to be here, so Jacqueline's not going to be here, and the watershed doesn't have a representative here, so we're going to skip those today, and that brings us down to set a date for the next meeting. Oh, no, wait a minute, hold it. Before we do that,
Chairman, we haven't had
Commission
commissioners'
reports.
reports yet.
Chris, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong, again, once again, I'm looking at the roll call, a different agenda. So, set a date for, sorry, that's the commission reports. I don't have much of a report. I don't know what you guys went over with the weed management report. Did you talk about Half Moon Bay? I want to rehash that if you already talked about it.
Briefly, Mr. Chair, I mentioned that Mike Liberty was going to go with a fellow over there to do some mapping of the cove relative to treatment, and that's as much as I said, Mr. Chair.
Okay, well, that's perfect because that's about what it is. And then the Newton Pond permitting, that is behind us. We got, I say behind us, we're still waiting. We had to wait the waiting period, but West Boylston approved with some conditions which we agreed upon, and so we're moving forward with that. And the treatment, I guess we have to go out for a bid on that at that. So that's where we stand with that. So that's great. That's happening. And so that's it. Mr. Piker, do you have a report?
Not much of a report, Mr. Chair, other than it's clear and evident that with the warmer weather, there's just more boats on the water. I have to say I was really happy to hear that the Shrewsbury Environmental Police and the Worcester Police will be out there this Friday through Monday in terms of doing enforcement. I knowing that a lot of marinas have sold all of their boating stock, that by definition is going to probably be potentially more boating on Lake Quinsigamond as well as other water bodies this year than ever. And there's going to be a need for people to boat safely. There's also some people that'll need some education, especially if they're first timers, in terms of driving, operating their boat responsibly, not tipping over canoes and kayaks, and as we spoke before, enjoying their boat, but not infusing themselves into other people's space in terms of music that just may simply be too loud if you can hear it a quarter mile away quite clearly. And we've already gone over that in the past, Mr. Chair, but I already know that somebody's mentioned that to me, that this past Sunday there was booming music going on. So, hopefully everyone will be able to enjoy themselves, but also behave themselves in that regard. Another item, just because I oftentimes speak about this, the eagles have been nesting. No one's reported to me seeing any eaglets in the nest, but I know that they've been nesting. I've seen them as recently as this past weekend. It's also the Canada geese have had their goslings, and I've seen families already, the male, the female, and 4 or 5 goslings in terms of different hatchings are swimming about the lake. So that's happened. The watershed, the lake seems to be going down a little. And frankly, that would be consistent with the fact that we really haven't had a lot of rain. So the watershed really hasn't been emptying a lot of water into the lake. And I think it's kind of gone down in the last month, let's say 2, maybe 3 inches. So, that's something we're dealing with. The vision in terms of an abutter's view of looking into the water, the turbidity or the clarity seems to be pretty good. But I also know that on heavy boating weekends, the water does get stirred up, and the vision through the water, turbidity increases. And so if that happens, whereby on next Monday or Tuesday, you can't see too far down, it shouldn't be too surprising to everybody if there's been an awful lot of propellers, stirring up the water. So, those are my observations, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Pica. Yeah, I just want to kind of add to Mike's statement that, it's everyone has a right to enjoy the lake, and I hope everybody does have that. But, please be safe out there in the weekend for all those folks that are watching it. And just remember that, everyone has rights to enjoy the lake. So make sure that your rights aren't infringing on someone else's rights while you're out there doing it. And that's mostly a message to anyone who's playing loud music or creating, wake situations where, they're kind of unaware. That's kind of the thing I see all the time with the wakes is you're kind of tooling along at 13, 14 miles an hour, which, looking forward, it looks like you're going pretty slow. But if you look behind you, you're generating an enormous wave behind your boat when you go that speed. So just be aware of that. And when you see someone else sitting on their dock or something, please have a courtesy to kind of slow down when you go by, so you don't swamp somebody or get their boats rocking and things like that. So that's great.
Peter, a question on that.
Yes,
Are the speed limiting signs up at the Narrows yet? I've been
they are not.
asked that question by numerous
That's a good
dwellers.
question, Bill, and they're not there. And basically because they haven't put them in. We have the signs, by my understanding of that. We just have to put them in. There was some construction on the site there, and we just got to go down there and spot the signs and put them on. And I know we've been lax in that, and I know that the rowers, some folks in the rowing community are a little antsy about that, and we'll get them in as soon as possible.
Thank you.
You bet. Sergeant Fidos, do you have a report?
Mr. Chair, I kind of talked about it already. However, I can go over it again if you'd like.
No, you don't. No, you don't have to. I can watch the recording. We again, Mike, we're really appreciative of what you guys are doing out there this year, and your whole approach to this, law enforcement out there this year. We wish you guys a safe weekend. And if there's anything we can do, please let us know.
Well, we appreciate that, and just the short version, we are taking a lot more aggressive approach this year. So far so good. Staffing's been okay so far, and this weekend's going to be busy, and we're ready for it. So,
okay, thank you. Captain DeAndrea,
Chair, could I ask a question
of course.
on the enforcement on the lake? I was asked by a fellow resident about the docking lights. People are driving around with their lights on, thinking that they're headlights.
Yes, my understanding is that that's actually illegal. You're not supposed to have the lights on, you need docking lights on while you're under the way. Is that correct?
So are you referring to just which light exactly? The docking lights you said?
The docking lights, they kind of look like headlights on most of the time it's a pontoon boat. But they have, the white lights on there. My understanding is that they interfere with the actual navigation lights.
Yes, that's correct. And that's historically something we've always enforced. So
yes,
anytime we see that, it is a safety hazard, and we will address it. That's correct. It typically you see those more on like a pontoon style boat. Am I accurate on that?
Yes. I can attest to that fact. because I had a friend of mine call me up outraged that he got a ticket for using his docking lights on the lake. So they they haven't enforced it in the past, and they will again in the future. So that's another safety thing, and people don't realize it because again, you think you're kind of on the road, and to some degree, on the being on the lake, driving on the lake is kind of like driving on a parking lot. There's no lines, um, it's just a big open space. But there are rules of the road, and if you're not familiar with them, I would ask that you either take the Coast Guard course and become familiar with them. And they have it online. It's a great little online thing. You can go on there. Massachusetts has one where you can kind of get. They have like all the the things you need to know, and you can go through the little course. It takes about maybe an hour to do it, and it really is informative. I did it, and it's pretty good. So that would be helpful. But those are one things, and the reason is that the lights are white, they're shining in the face of the boat approaching them, and it's confusing to anybody who understands the red and the green, and the and which side you're supposed to be on and how you pass and where the boat's positioned. So it's important that you don't run those when you're underway. When you're pulling into your dock, which is what they're for, that's great. Put them on. But when you're out underway, driving down the lake, please do not use your dock lights. Okay, is that it, Sergeant?
Yes, that's pretty much it. I also added that Angela and Lieutenant O'Connor have been working together to get presents down at the boat ramps, which I believe will start this weekend as well. We're just waiting on the final word.
Oh, fantastic. That's going to be both boat ramps, yes?
Yes.
Yes, eventually. I think it's gonna, Angela, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but we're gonna start out with the North Quinsigamond boat ramp and then potentially do the other ramp as well later on in the week or weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, we're hoping Sunday at the main ramp, and then Monday would be both ramps.
Okay, perfect.
And that will honestly, alleviate a lot of the issues with the unregistered boaters. We've had a couple people already just turn in and turn around because they see us down there. So it's already alleviating a lot of issues that we had in the past with unregistered boats, unlicensed, you name it. It's been a constant battle over there. And if we can not have them get on the lake first, and that way we don't have to deal with them on the lake, then it's even better.
Yeah, exactly. Prevention's worth a pound of cure, right? Good. Captain DeAndre.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I kind of went over a few things. One was the scheduled patrols. Second was
Okay.
the boat
All right.
for this week.
You don't need to do it. I can.
Yeah, just to reiterate what you're saying, I mean, the police are in the same predicament, or the same sense as you. We want everybody to have fun out there, but again, if people are doing things that they're not supposed to do, they're not going to be tolerated. So we'll be out there with Shrewsbury Environmental, making sure everybody is safe and having a good time. But if things need to be enforced, we'll be doing that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you again so much. And just to confirm, you got your lights and all your boat rigged in Worcester. Are you still able to get it under the Stringer Dam?
Yes, we will. Yep.
Perfect. I think that'll help a lot too, because people think it's the Wild West over there because they never see law enforcement. So just think riding around out there will change a lot. Okay, thank you. Mr. Nickerson.
Mr. Chair, I don't have a report this week. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Amory? Oh, she's not here. Sorry. Bossier?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just real quick, I spoke to Councilor Candy Carlson about the coal mine issues going on with the unsafe trails, the trash, the everything. And hopefully she was going to get in touch with city manager. And I'm very optimistic that we'll be able to do something good. over
Yeah,
there,
that's,
especially where they're putting the focus now on the trails. And it looks like the city is creating another park, potentially with a playground in that area. So I'm very optimistic that I think that's going to get some attention in the next couple of years.
that's great. Yeah, I always thought that if you kind of improved on something and had it formal like that, that would alleviate a lot of the informal things that go down, that can happen down there. So it's a beautiful spot. I mean, so it'd be nice if they could actually use it, but it's a dangerous spot at the same time, the way it's set up now and it's not being looked
I
at.
did have one question on Indian Lake. Did they ban jet skis?
That my understanding is that hearing is going on right now. That's actually where Mike Liberty is. He went and they put eyes on that. That's what they're talking about. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. I'll be interested to find out how they, what they propose, because according to mass regulation and the access, any great pond over 75 acres, which Indian Lake falls under that category, can't ban jet skis. But I guess there's ways around everything. So I'm not sure how they're going to do it. I'll reiterate in my humble opinion that banning anything isn't necessarily going to cure it for you, because there's really nothing to stop these folks from just going out and buying a boat and doing, or buying a jet boat. So they're going to have to define pretty tightly what they're banning. I'd be, again, more in favor of education over banning pieces of equipment that aren't going to be effective, because it's going to seek its own level and they're going to come up with something else. Some of these folks on there, there is some nefarious things going down there with stolen jet skis, and I've been hearing all kinds of stories over the last couple of seasons about what goes on as far as that goes. But I know a lot of the folks have they have means. They're the folks at Oak Island. I mean, they're families, and you look on their Facebook page, and they all have jobs, and they're not out there stealing jet skis. They're they bought them, so there's nothing going to stop those folks from going out and buying a boat or whatever. So I don't think that's going to necessarily solve it. But I'm interested to see what Indian Lake's going to do.
If they do ban, is that
Yes.
going to send all of that to Quinsig?
Well, yes, and Angela and I spoke about that today. If she wants to chime in on this, but that's exactly what'll happen. They'll come here, so it's not fair to us. And the city is just shifting the problem from one neighborhood to the other if they do that, because Quinsigamond's still in the city. So yeah, I'm not understanding how that happens. If the lakes, all the lakes start banning them, which I think is exactly what the state's going to be concerned with, that if they let one body of water do it, that that's a great pond over 75 acres, and they're all going to want to do it because everybody's got their sights set on that. But what's going to be next? Are you going to ban wakeboard boats because you don't like the wakes? Or are you going to ban a ski boat? Or when's it going to come around to the vessel of your choice? And when it's really not the problem. The problem isn't the vessel. The problem is the person operating the vessel. So I think it's better that if we're going to ban someone that's consistently doing things illegal and dangerous, we should ban the person, not the vessel. The Lake Quinsigamond Commission has the authority to ban both the person and the vessel. So we have things in place. We came up with a set of guidelines last year by request of the law enforcement, that kind of the 3 strikes and you're out rule. If you get 3 warnings, or if you do something blatantly dangerous one time, like swamp a crew boat, on purpose, then you're gonna find yourself in front of the Lake Commission at a hearing. And, the consequence could be, getting banned from the lake for up to 12 months. So, we're just not going to tolerate it. So we need to step up that side of it. This can't all be on the shoulders of law enforcement out there enforcing things. It's got to happen in the community as well, from the other side of it, where we have sensible regulations and rules and procedures and policies, I should say, that, that they should be educated enough to know it, to know that they're not supposed to do that stuff. But, if Indian Lake bans them, they're going to come here. There's no doubt in my mind. We're 10 minutes away.
Great. Thank you for the update.
Thank you. Was that your report, Lisa? Because you're up next.
Oh, that
was
was my
good.
report.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Nelson.
Yes. The Quinsigamond Rowing Club is increasing their rowing and programs among the singles, doubles, and fours, but it's slow. Their membership is nowhere near what it was before the pandemic, because a lot of the people who rowed eights aren't really coming back yet, and so it's very slow with regards to the rowing of eights. Then, as far as the Grafton Community Preservation Committee grant is concerned, that's on the June 5th Grafton Town Meeting warrant and will be voted that Saturday, a week from next Saturday. Everything seems to be going forward with no problems. That's all I have to say on what's going on with the lake, but I'd like to add one comment. People might have noticed I was missing for 15 minutes at the beginning, and what I discovered was that Google Meet has updated their programs in the last week. And Jessica has my Verizon email address, and my iPad had my iCloud email address, which both used to work. And with the new update on Google Meet, I had to put in a Google account before it'll let me work. So if anybody's having problems, you better check to see if your Google Meet program has been updated and requires a Google account.
Thank you, Bill, for saying that, because I did have to do that. I probably should have mentioned it. I just thought everyone was doing it. But yeah, I had to sign in into my Google account, which I have, because I had an Android phone like 15 years ago. But
yeah, I was lucky that I also had one, because if I
Yeah.
didn't, I would have been out of luck.
I had to scratch my head to remember the password because I haven't used it for 15 years, but I figured it out. All right, good thing to say. Unfortunately, if they couldn't get on, they probably wouldn't have heard this comment.
Yeah, Jessica's on here. Maybe she should send out a notice to everybody. If she's going to continue using Google Meet, she better inform everybody they better have a Google account.
Okay. And it's free, right? So Google account is free. You don't have to.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we can check with our IT, because that should not be the scenario, because we have other people on the call without a Google email. So I'll ask our IT if there's a workaround on that.
Well, maybe me and Bill got punked. Bill, the town meeting, that's the last stop in this, right? When they approve it.
Yes.
So I can go down there and wait outside and pick up the check.
Actually, I'm going to be there, and if the people from the Grafton Preservation Committee are going to be doing the presenting,
Yeah.
I'll be there ready in case they ask me to say anything. I assume Jonathan will be there if they ask for any comments from the Conservation Commission. You can attend as a visitor, sitting in the visitors section. And if Jonathan or I ask you to speak, then you can also speak.
Okay, cool. And I hope it's on a late, like a high numbered warrant towards the end of the meeting. And
I think it's either something like 32 or 33.
oh, that's
just
good.
Before the ones that are going to have the majority of people in town start talking about changing the bylaws. So the meeting starts at 11. It's on the football field outside, socially distanced. But those first 32 or 33 warrant articles should go through pretty quick before they get into the ones that the people in the town want to start hammering on forever.
All right. Good. So hopefully it'll go through with no debate. But this is kind of new to everybody, you know, the CPC. I know that it got some chatter in our town meeting, but so it's a fairly new program. And maybe that's some money we can go after next year to help pay for a guardhouse or something at one of the, you know, one of the parks, one of the boat ramp. I don't know. The guardhouse down there is actually still on state property though, right?
Yes, it would probably have to be on Grafton property.
Yeah. No, I'm talking if we went out the Shrewsbury money. Okay. So just to get back to a comment that Lisa made, I don't know if you want to elaborate on this, Angela. Regarding Indian Lake, we're planning on writing letters to both the state and the city to express our feelings about them banning jet skis on Indian Lake. You know, and the consequence it will have for Lake Quinsigamond. So they understand how we feel about it. So that's wanted to add that in there. Okay, I think that Angela, do you have a report?
Yes, I just wanted to give everyone an update on the operations of the boat ramps at Corazini Ramp and Flint Pond. The fee this year will be $15. It's up from $10, and it's a new fee for Flint Pond. We'll start collecting on Saturday at Corazini and on Monday at Flint Pond. And we are offering a season pass this year. This is something new. If people are interested in a season pass for the boat ramps, it's on the Parks and Recreation website. You have to buy it in advance. You can't buy it at the ramps. And it's available now. So if people want to do that, they can download the application and mail it in or drop it off to the town hall, and we'll get it out to people in a couple of days. And again, the increase was to allow us to have the police details working throughout the week at those locations, as Sergeant Vitols had mentioned earlier. So thank you.
Angela, can I ask a question on that?
Mr. Chairman, through, yeah. What will the cost be of a season pass, Mr. Chairman? Michael Piker.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it's $100 for the season.
Thank you.
Bill, you had a question?
Yes, there's limited parking at both places. So even if someone has a season pass and the parking lots are full, they're out of luck?
Correct. The season pass indicates that it does not guarantee parking. It's still first come, first serve.
Thank you.
And I believe the other rules down there apply that if you're not there with launching a boat, you can't go down there and picnic on either of the ramps.
Right. You can't do fishing,
you know,
launching and retrieving of your boat.
Right. So, it's you get down there and you're down there for the business of launching a boat and that's basically what the ramps are for. So, so it's not, come down here and launch your jet ski and then, 20 of your friends are parking their cars down there so they can all share the one jet ski. All right, so I guess from here we can go on to set the date of the next meeting.
So the next
Chair?
meeting is,
So, Mr. Chair, if I could,
Yes.
Michael Piker.
Yeah.
A couple of things I wanted to just say. Number one, the city of Worcester is not going to have their call it what you want annual 4th of July fireworks display. So if anybody was thinking that might be an event, which it typically is in terms of boaters on the lake, that will not be officially happening by the city of Worcester. And number two, Mr. Chair, we had a request by Madukas previously to extend their dock. I don't know what the update on that. I just have a question, I guess, as to what happened. Was that looked into, and what was the determination on that? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest just this once, that I have not heard back from Madukas regarding that. And I don't recall seeing any dock added to that particular site. I did go down there on a site visit to look at the two systems. I believe that the main concern coming out of Madukas by the neighbors is coming from next door. So, you know, I informed Mike Maduka, you know, what he needed to do as far as making sure that he has a formal application in to make a change to the dock, and that you know, we want a drawing and you know, how he's gonna do it. I'm assuming he's probably gonna add on the same type of dock that he has now. And you know, I guess at that point we have to determine whether that makes sense or not. So, I mean, you know, on the one hand, it is a good business on the lake, and it's been pretty good. They have, you know, they've been fairly good citizens as well, as in terms of contributing when we had, you know, the Lake Quinsigamond Day and the boat parade. They always offered a prize and whatnot. So, you know, it's certainly something to consider. But you know, I want to make sure all the stakeholders are comfortable with what they're doing. But that's where we are. I'll reach out to him
Thank you,
again.
Mr. Chair.
You bet. Okay. I'm gonna go back to set the date for the next meeting again. I keep getting shut down with that, but you know, I'm determined. I'm gonna get to the end of this. So, are we at that stage where we can do that now?
So the next meeting will be June 30th, and the town of Shrewsbury will be updating their information on in-person meetings June 15th. So it's possible we could be in person, so we'll have to stay tuned. So
Okay. Wow.
keep everyone updated. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to happen in June or July.
Okay. And everyone will be wearing masks in there, or we don't know?
Yeah, that we don't know. That's
Okay.
for the guidance.
I just need a couple of days, so you know, if I have to shave. So, all right, that's good. That's exciting news, though. Get the band back together. Good. So June 30th. With that said, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
All right.
Second.
Is there a second? Thank you. I'm going to go through the list. Mr. Pica?
Aye.
All right. Sergeant Vitals?
Aye.
Captain DeAndrea?
Aye.
Mr. Nickerson?
Aye.
All right. Ms. LaBosiere?
Hi.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
And I'm also affirmative. And Angela's happy to get off too. I can see it. All right. Thank you all very much. Have a safe and happy holiday.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.